The clouds of Venus just turned green, not metaphorically, not in a simulation on live spectrometric feeds running simultaneously across two independent telescope arrays, one in Hawaii and the other 6,000 meters away in the Chilean Atacama Desert. For the first time in human history, the sulfuric acid cloud deck of Venus, which has been unchanged across every recorded observation, is reflecting a wavelength it has never reflected before. The green of Venus was detected, and the entire scientific community was left stunned. It's 11:47 p.m. at Mauna Loa Observatory. The technician sees it first. His cursor stops mid-motion, his eyes scanning the data as disbelief sets in. He runs calibration again, nothing changes. Something is wrong. He immediately calls his supervisor. There's a protocol breach, but it's not something anyone makes unless something truly extraordinary is happening. The supervisor listens to his technician's 3 short sentences and for 4 long seconds says nothing. Then, finally, he speaks, "Send it to me right now." What follows is a series of quick actions. ESA's Venus Express archive is pulled. Jack begins cross-referencing the Akatsuki CloudTop database. The latest data from the Parker Solar Probe's perihelion is flagged. 6 minutes of intense cross-referencing pass, and the confirmation from Chilean observatories lands. The room goes silent. The data has just revealed something that no natural model can explain. There is no solar event, no volcanic eruption, and no chemical reaction in a sulfuric atmosphere that could cause this. What's even stranger is that 3 weeks ago, an object arrived in our solar system that has never been here before. What changed the clouds of Venus? What or who is responsible for this extraordinary shift in the planet's atmosphere? To understand why this reading is so critical, we need to delve into Venus's true nature beyond the romanticized vision of a sister planet. Venus holds secrets about planetary evolution that could change everything. Venus and Earth share a common origin, both formed from the same primordial disk about 4.6 billion years ago. They started with the same raw materials, the same gravitational origin, yet their paths diverged dramatically. Earth stabilized, forming a liquid iron core that generated a magnetic field, a magnetosphere that shielded its surface from the solar wind. This protection allowed water to remain, oceans to form, and life to evolve. Venus, however, did not receive the same shielding. The result? A planet that spiraled into what is known as a runaway greenhouse effect. According to theoretical models from NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, Venus underwent a thermal feedback loop with no exit. Early oceans on Venus vaporized due to extreme temperatures, and that water vapor thickened the atmosphere. As the atmosphere became denser, more heat was trapped, causing more water to vaporize, accelerating the loop further until it locked in place. Today, Venus's surface temperature sits at 465 degrees Celsius, and the atmospheric pressure is 92 bars, which is equivalent to standing nearly 900 meters beneath the ocean's surface. The cloud layer surrounding Venus is not made of water vapor. It's composed of concentrated sulfuric acid suspended 45 to 70 kilometers above the surface, where the temperatures and pressures are extreme enough to melt lead. This is the Venus we know. The planet's surface is uninhabitable by any life form as we understand it. So when the spectrometer started picking up this anomaly, this green reflection, it became clear that this was no ordinary observation. It was a Category 1 divergence from what we thought we knew about Venus. Something extraordinary was happening in the upper atmosphere, and the spectrometers were reading it in real time. Spectroscopy works by detecting the light that molecular compounds reflect. Every compound has a specific electromagnetic signature, a sort of molecular fingerprint. Green wavelengths fall between 500 and 565 nanometers, and for a cloud system to reflect predominantly in this band, something must be absorbing the complementary red and blue wavelengths while discarding the idea that 3 Atlas could be a directed object is a difficult one to accept, especially in the realm of planetary science. This concept challenges our understanding of cosmic events and demands a shift in perspective. For most scientists, the idea of intelligent beings manipulating planetary systems seems too far-fetched. However, when we apply theoretical physics to the current evidence, the notion begins to take shape. 3 Atlas may not just be a random interstellar object, it might be a deliberate delivery system, one that carried a specific compound or biological material designed to influence Venus's atmosphere. Let's dive deeper into the implications of this hypothesis. The concept of a directed interstellar object is not as fringe as it may seem. In fact, it ties into advanced theoretical frameworks like string theory. String theory proposes that the fundamental components of reality aren't point particles, but one-dimensional vibrating filaments of energy. These filaments exist across 11 dimensions, with the 4 we experience 3 spatial dimensions, and time being part of a larger hyperspace. In this framework, every particle, every force, and every interaction is part of a resonant symphony across these dimensions. For a civilization capable of navigating this hyperspace, interstellar propulsion would be no longer a matter of theoretical physics. It would be an engineering challenge. Imagine a civilization harnessing energy scales far beyond anything humanity can comprehend, a civilization capable of manipulating the laws of physics to terraform planets or seed atmospheres across the galaxy. This brings us to the Kardashev scale, which classifies civilizations based on their energy consumption. A Type 1 civilization controls its planet's entire energy output, while a Type 2 civilization harnesses the power of its star, and a Type 3 civilization commands the energy of an entire galaxy. Currently, humanity sits at around 0.73 on this scale, meaning we are still in the infancy of our technological development. A Type 2 civilization would have access to energy levels billions of times greater than ours, making interstellar travel and manipulation of planetary systems more of an engineering problem than a physical one. A Type 3 civilization with access to unimaginable energy and advanced technologies would view the vast distances between stars as trivial. For them, manipulating a planet's atmosphere or seeding a world with life would be a simple task achieved with precision. If 3 Atlas is a product of such a civilization, its journey to Venus could be an intentional event. The object's trajectory and its close approach to Venus could be seen not as an accident, but as part of a deliberate plan to trigger a transformation on Venus. This leads to a very unsettling possibility that Venus, once a barren planet, may now be on the verge of becoming a living world, one capable of supporting life. If the compound or biological system that 3 Atlas delivered is capable of initiating photosynthesis or a similar process in Venus's upper atmosphere, then we might be witnessing the opening act of a planetary-scale transformation. Venus, long considered dead and inhospitable, could be receiving what it was denied billions of years ago, a second chance. As the implications of this hypothesis unfold, we begin to see the full scope of its significance. If Venus is indeed being transformed, we are witnessing the dawn of a process that could change the entire fate of the planet. But even more profound is what this means for our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it. Are we alone in the universe, or are we part of a larger cosmic experiment being orchestrated by advanced civilizations? The green clouds of Venus are a signal, but they might also be a message, one that challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about life, intelligence, and the universe itself. One of the most remarkable aspects of this situation is how closely it mirrors Earth's own history. 2 billion years ago, Earth underwent a transformation driven by cyanobacteria, the first organisms capable of oxygenic photosynthesis. These tiny life forms consumed carbon dioxide, releasing oxygen in the process, and over millions of years, they fundamentally altered the atmosphere. The Great Oxidation Event transformed Earth's atmosphere into one capable of supporting complex life. The question now is whether Venus is undergoing a similar transformation, triggered not by natural biological processes, but by an external intervention. For Venus to become hospitable, it would need to undergo a radical change in its atmospheric chemistry. Carbon dioxide is abundant on Venus. 96.5% of its atmosphere is CO2, which is precisely what photosynthetic organisms consume. Venus's upper atmosphere, with temperatures ranging from 0 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius and pressures similar to Earth's, provides the ideal environment for a similar process to occur, provided the right machinery is in place to initiate it. If 3 Atlas delivered a compound or a replicating system capable of photosynthesis, then the green clouds we see are not just a chemical anomaly, they are the first signs of life-changing Venus's atmosphere. The introduction of this compound could kickstart a process that would slowly transform Venus into a planet capable of supporting life. It would be a gradual change, taking place over geological timescales, but the seeds for this transformation may have already been planted. This brings us back to the question that no one has yet fully answered: did 3 Atlas bring life to Venus, or is this simply the result of a random cosmic event? The forensic analysis, while compelling, leaves us with no definitive answer. The evidence points toward a directed intervention, but it's still a hypothesis. The idea that an advanced civilization seeded Venus's atmosphere with life-forming compounds is a bold one, but it fits the data we have so far. As we continue to study Venus, the green clouds will be our key to understanding what is really happening. The spectrometric data, the orbital mechanics of 3 Atlas, and the theoretical models all suggest that Venus is undergoing a transformation, one that might be too complex and too precise to be the result of chance. If 3 Atlas did indeed deliver a biological payload, then Venus may be on the brink of becoming a new world, a second Earth, capable of supporting life. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the implications of this discovery. What does this mean for humanity's understanding of life in the universe? And what are the next steps for us as a species in exploring this incredible phenomenon? Let's continue to follow the data, and perhaps we'll uncover the answers that could change our view of the cosmos forever. As we reach the final part of this analysis, the question remains: what do we do with this information? What are we to make of the green clouds of Venus, the arrival of 3 Atlas, and the implications of an interstellar object possibly altering Venus's atmosphere? The data we've gathered is extraordinary, and it forces us to confront a reality that humanity is not alone in this vast universe, nor are we the first civilization to understand how to manipulate planetary environments. This signals a shift in our understanding of life, technology, and intelligence on a cosmic scale. Let's consider this for a moment. For centuries, we've gazed at Venus, understanding it as a distant, inhospitable world. Its surface was thought to be a dead, scorched wasteland, trapped in a runaway greenhouse effect. It was a planet where no form of life could exist. But now, with the green clouds and the unexplained spectral signature, we are forced to reconsider everything we thought we knew. Is it possible that Venus, like Earth, has the potential to support life under the right conditions? And if so, Did we play a role in this transformation? Or was it initiated by a far more advanced civilization with the knowledge and technology to seed life on other planets? The green clouds, which can't be explained by the known chemical processes of Venus, are a signal that something has changed. It's not just a coincidence. Something has shifted in the planet's atmospheric chemistry, something that we cannot explain through natural processes alone. And the timing of this change coincides with the arrival of 3 Atlas, an object that challenges our understanding of interstellar bodies and their behavior. Theories and data models suggest that the object didn't just pass by Venus, it interacted with the planet in a way that triggered an event, possibly altering the chemical makeup of Venus's atmosphere. If we are to accept the hypothesis that 3 Atlas delivered a biological or chemical payload to Venus, then we are witnessing the first evidence of an interstellar civilization's involvement in planetary transformation. This isn't science fiction. It's a scenario that, based on the evidence we have, is increasingly plausible. A civilization capable of interstellar travel could very well have the technology to seed life across different planets, initiating a process of transformation on a scale we can only imagine. But this revelation raises deeper questions about the nature of intelligence and life in the universe. Are we alone, or are we merely one of many civilizations in a vast network of life that spans across galaxies and star systems? Are we at the beginning of a new era in which we discover that life is not just an earthbound phenomenon, but something that has already spread throughout the cosmos, perhaps seeded by ancient, advanced civilizations? The green clouds of Venus might be more than just a scientific anomaly. They could be the evidence of a larger, cosmic story that has been unfolding for billions of years. The implications for humanity are profound. This discovery forces us to rethink our place in the universe. We have always assumed that life was a product of Earth's unique conditions, but what if life is something far more common than we ever thought? What if Venus, a planet once written off as uninhabitable, is now the site of a new beginning, the start of a transformation that will eventually lead to a world capable of sustaining life? The possibilities are endless, and the questions we need to ask are only beginning to unfold. But more than that, this discovery also challenges us as a species. Are we the kind of civilization that will recognize this moment for what it is? Are we ready to face the possibility that the universe is far more complex and interconnected than we ever imagined? Will we have the courage to follow the data wherever it leads, even if it takes us into realms of knowledge and understanding that challenge everything we think we know? Whether we are the kind of civilization that can confront these questions will define our future in the cosmos. So, what now? The green clouds of Venus are just the beginning. The data has been collected, the hypothesis has been laid out, and now it is up to humanity to determine how we respond. Will we continue to explore, to ask the hard questions, to challenge the limits of our understanding, or will we ignore the signs and close ourselves off to the possibility that we are not alone in the universe? This is where the real journey begins. The green clouds of Venus are a message, and the question is whether we, as a species, will recognize it for what it is. The transmission ends here, but the signal continues. It's up to us to listen, understand, and act. The universe is speaking. Will we be the ones to hear it? If this revelation has sparked your curiosity and you want to learn more about the mysteries of Venus and the potential for life beyond Earth, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share your thoughts below. Do you believe Venus could become a new world? And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on this groundbreaking discovery. The adventure is just beginning, and we want you to be a part of it. Green. On Earth, the molecule that does this perfectly is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs red light between 620 and 700 nanometers and blue light between 430 and 450 nanometers. It reflects green light, which is why plants look green to us. It's an evolutionary adaptation that allows plants to harvest the light they need for photosynthesis and discard the rest. This signature is unmistakable to spectrometers, and it's the exact same pattern scientists just observed in Venus's upper clouds. Now, while this doesn't mean life has been discovered on Venus, it is an extraordinary signal, a signal that the established chemical model of Venus's atmosphere cannot explain, and the one thing that we know from life on Earth, chlorophyll, is the source. Theoretical models now suggest that if a bioanalogous compound capable of producing a chlorophyll-like absorption signature exists in Venus's upper cloud layer, where temperatures range from 0 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius and pressures are similar to Earth's, the reflected spectral output would shift precisely into the green band now being observed. This is a crucial turning point. We are witnessing something that doesn't fit within the current understanding of Venus's atmospheric chemistry, the arrival of an object in the solar system, something that had never been here before, lines up perfectly with this mysterious shift in the planet's atmosphere. What is this object, and is its presence related to the transformation occurring on Venus? Stay tuned for the next part where we uncover more about the object responsible for this transformation and the significant implications it might have. The object that arrived in our solar system just before the green clouds began appearing on Venus is designated as 3 Atlas. The name alone carries weight. It's the third interstellar object ever confirmed to have originated outside our solar system. The first two, Oumuamua in 2017 and 2I, Borisov in 2019, passed through quietly, sparking theories and discussions. But 3 Atlas is different. It is not allowing us to merely observe. It's challenging everything we know about interstellar objects. Let's start with the orbital mechanics of 3 Atlas, because when it comes to gravitationally bound objects, orbital mechanics doesn't lie. Any comet, asteroid, or rogue body native to our solar system travels along a closed elliptical path. The eccentricity of its orbit defines the shape. An eccentricity of 0 means a perfect circle, and anything above 1 means the object follows a hyperbolic trajectory. Hyperbolic means it came from somewhere else, and it will leave and never return. 3 Atlas has an eccentricity significantly above 1, indicating it is indeed a hyperbolic trajectory. But eccentricity alone doesn't distinguish it from other objects like Oumuamua. What sets 3 Atlas apart is its speed. At perihelion, the point in its orbit closest to the Sun, the speed of 3 Atlas, when simulated, doesn't line up with any known neighboring star system. The trajectory of this object points into a region of interstellar space that doesn't have a clear stellar source. In fact, theoretical models from multiple independent astronomical research teams describe this as an unresolved provenance problem. The object's origin cannot be fully traced by our current instruments. It's as if it came from somewhere our technology hasn't learned to look yet. This in itself is extraordinary, but there's more. The trajectory of 3 Atlas is not just a random, isolated path. Unlike Oumuamua, which carved a single arc through the solar system, 3 Atlas's calculated orbital path brought it closer to Venus than any previously detected interstellar object. This wasn't a casual flyby, it was a proximity event. The refined trajectory models show that during its closest approach to Venus, 3 Atlas interacted gravitationally with Venus's upper atmospheric layers. This interaction, though not catastrophic, was measurable, and it happened at exactly the altitude where the spectral anomaly is being detected. Now, gravitational tidal forces at this scale do not directly alter a planet's cloud deck. Physics is clear about that. However, these forces do something subtler. They create pressure differentials and atmospheric oscillations. These oscillations, or wave patterns, could cause a redistribution of chemicals already present in the atmosphere, pulling material from lower altitudes up into the upper cloud layers. This is an effect that standard atmospheric models have not accounted for at the proximity scale of an interstellar object. Theoretical models in planetary fluid dynamics suggest that even a modest gravitational perturbation at this altitude could trigger what scientists call a chemical uplift event, which involves the vertical transport of molecular species between atmospheric layers. If a compound capable of producing the observed green spectral signature exists somewhere in Venus's lower or subcloud atmospheric layers, and if these compounds can be redistributed upward by such a gravitational interaction, then this could explain the sudden appearance of the green clouds. But there's still a catch. Gravitational redistribution alone cannot explain everything. It doesn't create new chemistry. It simply moves what is already there. It doesn't explain how a chlorophyll-like compound appeared where no biological or chemical pathway for such a substance exists in Venus's atmosphere. The spectrometric data shows that something with the absorption signature of chlorophyll is present, but Venus's atmosphere has never had the conditions to produce such a compound. This leads to a hypothesis that is both thrilling and unsettling. Could it be that 3 Atlas brought something with it? Could it have carried a chemical or biological payload from interstellar space, a payload that is now altering Venus's atmosphere? This idea is rooted in the concept of panspermia, the theory that life, or at least the building blocks of life, can travel across space. The survival of complex organic molecules in the interstellar medium has already been confirmed. Amino acids have been detected in meteorite samples, and nucleobases, the building blocks of RNA and DNA, have been found in carbon-rich meteorites. So, if 3 Atlas isn't just a barren rock, if it carried something that could survive the harsh conditions of space and make it to Venus, then its arrival could be a far more significant event than anyone realized. The green clouds of Venus might not be a coincidence. They could be the result of a biological system that 3 Atlas brought with it. If this system is self-sustaining, if it can metabolize Venus's abundant carbon dioxide and reproduce in the upper atmosphere, then we may be witnessing the first signs of a planetary scale atmospheric transformation. It would be as if Venus, once thought to be a dead world, is receiving its second chance, perhaps even its first taste of life. But this is where the real mystery begins. Is this change just a random, passive consequence of the object's gravitational passage, or is 3 Atlas part of something far more intentional, a purposeful intervention in Venus's evolution? In the next part, we will examine how the arrival of 3 Atlas, its strange characteristics, and the green clouds could point toward a far greater cosmic truth, a truth that challenges everything we know about life, planets, and the universe. Stay with us as we explore the theory behind Venus's transformation and what it means for our understanding of interstellar intelligence.